gifts all around. Jodi's little tale became quite renowned. It's Jodi Day, it's Jodi Arias Day. Come along and join us in our playful little play. But remember, my friend, that the truth will always win in this town of make-believe, where the fun begins.
That's great. Oh, I never heard that before. That's awesome. That's so much better than us trying to sing some version of this song.
Yeah.
It's Jodi Day. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Too
but I
soon,
couldn't
Salvador
make
says.
I did that over at the Suno AI songwriting stuff, but I couldn't get them to sing Jodi Aries, so that Jodi Arias. Yeah, but
Oh, okay. No, but it works. It works. Oh, happy birthday, Jung, by the way, belated.
Happy
I
birthday,
did give her
Jung.
some shout outs, but not necessarily on a stream that anybody watched. So but yeah, it's Jodi Day. It's Jodi Day. It's been too long. It's been too long. So now we have yeah, there's the right one. So we have do we want to talk about our schedule that we were just discussing?
Yeah. We have roughly 14 episodes left. Looking at the hours left of this trial, which would bring us to somewhere in August. In August, as you might know, I'm traveling through the United States, ending up in Michigan at Dave's place around August 19th, 20th, something like that, which would place the final episode when I am at Dave's place.
We might do a series finale of Jodi Day live from the treehouse, the two of us.
Yeah.
So that's going to be awesome. We're going to see if we can plan that out to make that happen.
Yeah, we will definitely try to. It just dawned on me when I checked how much was left, the hours and stuff like that. All right.
It's right there. I think that's a perfect ending. We need to make that happen.
Yeah,
we need to make that happen.
Definitely.
Have a pool party for the last episode. Just like the Lifetime movie. We can make a pool party happen too. We could do a lot of things if we're together.
Yeah.
In August, we could make a lot of things happen. Spooky timing, Lou says. Yes, spooky timing. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Jodi Day. We are on. I don't even know what day this is. Travis Friend taking the stand.
Yeah, some of Travis Friend and other. It's day 51.
I don't have all my Jodi streams up, so I don't even know how many. I'm gonna get to go through like probably Monday night and just post all of my Jodi streams.
Yeah, yes, John, I will not get arrested. We need one Nick on LawTube.
That's right. Oh, poor Nick.
Welcome, I'm Nick. I'm the remaining Nick on LawTube.
Yes.
Who hasn't been arrested. So
there's like 12 Andrews, but there's only one Nick now.
Yeah. Oh. How many days?
There's 2 Davids, though. That's disappointing.
Oh. How many? Well, day 55 is jury instruction and closing. Then it's rebuttal, closing, and then it's verdict.
All right.
I wonder what the verdict will be.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting. I'm not quite. I haven't made my mind up. I'm not sure what the jury is thinking just yet.
Yeah.
So this is Travis's friend being, and if you guys are not up to speed on where we are, this is rebuttal testimony. The defense has rested, and the prosecution is calling the rebuttal witnesses, which, in my opinion, they probably don't need a lot of. But we'll see how this goes. I'm going to keep messing with my camera because it's being a pain in the ass today. There we go.
Oh, you had an interview with Christine yesterday.
I did. I was on Meme Copium, then I had an interview with Christine. Then I did this other stream for like 2.5 hours. It was really boring. And then I streamed a little bit on my woodworking channel. So that was my day yesterday. It was a good time. But yeah, she wants to do another interview with me. I think she forgot some questions, but it went well. It was fun.
Yeah. All right. But we are here for Jodi Aries. And let's see what Travis's friends and others will talk about.
John wants to know what we'll do after this. We should do Casey Anthony.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've been talking about stuff.
Who is the guy who is arguing for a new trial?
Oh, but I don't know if that trial was streamed. Peters.
No, but
Peterson?
Hella is but Hella is doing that one. So
yeah.
Crazy.
Yes, please finish Casey Anthony. Farrell says. Well, we haven't started it, sir.
We have,
ma'am, or whatever. You are. I don't even know anymore.
Are you doing Crazy Anthony Farrell?
No, Salvador started it, and then it became too toxic in the chat, so he ended it.
Oh, okay.
But we're not afraid like Salvador is.
No, we are real, man. At least one of us is. But we are here for Jodi Aries. Let's go.
Please be seated. The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel.
Why do they say it that way?
Cross-examine the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Reed, good afternoon.
Hello.
I want to ask you some questions, begin this afternoon by talking about your relationship with Travis. If I heard you correctly, you said that you met him in 1998. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And how old were you back in 1998?
I was 20, I believe. Yes, 20.
Okay. And based on what you told us about Mr. Alexander being 1 year older than you, he would have been about 21, right?
About that.
Okay. And how did you meet him? What were I know you talked about meeting through mutual friends, that sort of thing. Was this a club? Was this a church activity? Could you just kind of describe that for us?
He was actually at my apartment and my roommates were there.
Oh, this is
and I
no
had just
neck.
come home from work and was introduced to him.
I remember this.
That was the
woman.
first time I met him.
Okay, so it's through friends. Were you both members of the same church?
Yes.
Okay, and what church is that?
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay. And we heard a little bit of testimony a while back, kind of a little bit about how the organization, if you will, of that church works, about wards and things like that. You're familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Were you in the same ward as Mr. Alexander?
Yes, we were.
Okay. Did you go to the same church, physical church as Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Okay. And because you said, and let me back up a step. Your membership in the church, if you will, were you kind of born into the church, or did you join the church later on in life? Could you explain that to us?
My parents joined the church when I was 1 year old.
Okay.
So yes, I grew up in the church.
Okay.
She has a thumb head, right? Her head looks like a thumb. There's something
And to
off
your
with her.
understanding, how did Mr. Alexander come to the church?
Yeah, I mean,
That his family.
she really has to have long hair because that's kind of a man's face.
It's well, it's definitely a man's face, and I've seen men with larger boobs too. But her face, her whole head looks like a thumb, doesn't it? I'm like, isn't that the shape of her head right there? Like her neck going into her head. If we just put a little wig on this. Damn it, I need a wig.
Were members of the church that weren't actively attending church.
Okay. When you say his family, are you referring to his mother and father, or are you referring to someone else?
Well, as far as I know, the grandparents were definitely members of the church, and his parents as well, I believe.
Okay. Now, you said that you began dating in 2000?
Yes,
So based on what you've told us, we have about approximately 2 years of just a friendship, correct?
approximately.
Okay.
Just a friendship.
How did that friendship turn into a dating relationship?
We just started hanging out and spending more time with each other on a regular basis and got to know each other better. And, we liked each other and started dating.
Okay. And hanging out, was that a lot of church activities in this ward? that you
There
shared?
were.
Okay. And dating per se, was that, you guys go out together? Would you go out in groups? How did that work?
Sometimes we would go out in groups and sometimes we would go out just him and I.
Is this where the whole group
For
dating
lack of
thing
better way
started?
of saying it, was there a point in time where he became your boyfriend?
Yes.
And when would you say that point in time was?
I don't know if there was a pinpoint date in time.
I'm not asking an exact date, maybe month and year kind of thing.
I would say around the spring of 2000.
Okay. So after a few months of dating, 3-4 months of dating, whatever it is, you become boyfriend and girlfriend.
That's correct.
Okay. And based on what you've told us before, this preceded your mission in Costa Rica by, I guess it would be a couple months, right?
That's right.
Okay. And when you were boyfriend and girlfriend, if I'm stepping forward in time, you would have been 21, he would have been 22 or 23?
By the time that I left in 2000, I was 21.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
What did being boyfriend and girlfriend, what did that mean to you and Travis at the time?
That we were dating exclusively.
Okay. Did it mean anything else?
I don't know what you're referring to. We were dating.
Well, did it come with a degree of expectations for the future?
Not right away, no.
Not right away? Okay. Which leads me to my next question.
When were they dating?
Right?
What was the time frame? Was this before or after? Or yeah, before or
Well,
after
well-
Jodi?
Not after Jodi.
Well, I mean, but like after they broke up, right? Was this like the lady
Not-
Jodi was jealous of?
No, yeah, I think this was the woman before Jodi.
Okay.
Mm.
So this is the one that just kept coming by the house, right?
Yeah.
The one that she complained. Okay. All right. Got it now. Now we can put a giant thumb face to the name.
Eventually, you start to think about the future when you're in a relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And when did that eventually, you start thinking about the future? When did that start to occur?
I started thinking about it more just before I left.
Okay. Left for your mission, just to be clear, right? Is that a yes?
Yes,
Let's say
sorry.
yes for this gentleman here. So you
What
leave
was
for
Travis's
Costa Rica
nickname for her?
in June of 2000.
Video poll.
I don't
Have you
know.
talked to Travis about
Maybe the
these
thumb hole.
thoughts or expectations that you had?
We did talk about it.
And were you, before you left, was there a plan, so to speak, for when you returned in terms of your relationship?
There wasn't a set plan.
Okay. At that point in time, was the subject of marriage brought up between the two of you?
It was brought up, but I knew I would be leaving for a long period of time and that the possibility of that happening, I just wasn't sure if that would really happen or not.
Okay. Prior to June of 2000, before you left for this mission, did he ever propose to you?
No,
Did he ever encourage you not to go on this mission?
Super soaker? Gross, Salvador.
Did he ever express a preference that you stay with him and get married as opposed to go on this mission?
no.
No, Dave is still not
And you
monetized,
said that,
and which means you can only super chat me. And,
Oh yeah, you give me all the likes and the watch hours, the thumbs up, and everything else. You can just super chat Nick. That's all he needs.
Yep. Oh, did I hide you, Dave? Sorry.
Mhm.
Hold on while
I'll just do this. There we go.
Let's try this.
I could just look over Valhalla like I do in real life because he's so short.
Let's see. Update layout. There.
There
That's
we go.
better.
That works.
Yep.
That you were gone about a year and a half,
Yes.
right? Okay. And the only mode of communication that was available to you based on the dictates of your mission, I guess, if that's a fair way to put it, was that you could only write letters. Is
That's
that correct? Okay.
Excuse me, that's correct.
Okay. Do you need a second to get some water? Or are you okay?
I will.
Okay.
The witness stand there is so big they have to scoot over to get the water. But in the Donna Reed
Yes.
trial, they can barely.
You mentioned
in it.
when you were speaking with Mr. Martinez that in this correspondence you had, and I should clarify before we do this, was this limitation about only writing letters that we discussed. Is that related to family? Does that apply to everyone, or are there different boundaries or rules, if I'm using the right words, in terms of your contact with others?
It applies to everyone. I was allowed to telephone my family twice a year on Mother's Day and on Christmas.
Okay. So you weren't able to have any kind of phone contact or anything with Mr. Alexander during these 18 months?
Only letters.
Just the letters, okay. And when you were speaking with Mr. Martinez, you mentioned one of the letters, he wrote you a letter about something to the effect, I can't remember your exact words, but he was expressing a desire to see other people in this letter, right?
Yes.
You know,
And
can you
do you
pause it real quick?
remember
Oh, never mind.
this?
I was just looking at the side by side of this witness and Jodi, and often guys have sort of a preferred characteristic, right? They have a preferred look that they tend to be attracted to, and I think after seeing Travis's hopeful lady friend, Jodi, this woman, I figured it out. So Travis is attracted to holes. That's the common denominator because I see nothing else similar in any of these women.
Yeah, I mean, Jodi was bleach blonde at the time. This woman definitely wasn't. He says, whoever girl he can get it to, he will try to do.
We're on all David. Okay, so just so you guys know, I put up a poll that said, was Travis's nickname for this woman Super Soaker, based off of Salvador? But there's also a Q&A, which I've never used before. But the Q&A is, what was Travis's nickname for this woman? So somehow you guys should be able to answer it. And Jung, it's fill in the blank. So you can put in whatever you want.
Probably a pretty significant moment, if you will, right? For you to receive that letter from him?
I don't know what you mean by significant.
Well, you left with the idea or maybe the expectation that you may marry this man, right?
I didn't really expect him to wait for me the entire time.
I forgot I was wearing one of my old shirts.
So this letter you received then, it was no big deal?
I wouldn't say that it wasn't a big deal.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. How long into your mission was it, if you can recall, that you received this letter?
It was well into my mission. I was to be returning home in just a few months.
I'm sorry, you said returning home, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's when you received this letter that he wanted to date someone else?
Yes.
Okay. Did this letter state specifically, I want to date so-and-so?
No, it didn't.
Okay. Did you ever have a chance to respond to that letter or communicate with him before you returned?
Yes, I did.
And how many letters did you exchange after that? Do you know?
I don't know.
When you received that letter, you weren't upset? You weren't heartbroken?
I was sad.
Okay. Heartbroken?
I wouldn't say heartbroken at that time.
Were you in love with him at that time?
I was in love with him.
Okay.
But I was so busy in what I was doing there. And it was a good distraction, I guess you could say, to be there and to be doing what I was doing. I wasn't focused on our relationship. I was focused on the work that I was doing in Costa Rica.
Okay. So would it be fair of me to say then you were hurt, but you had other outlets to kind of help you deal with that
Yes.
hurt? Okay.
We have Jodi
And your
Arias.
work in Costa Rica was important to you, so that really helped you.
Still
deal with
holier.
these issues, right?
It was.
Okay. You talked about, well, let me ask you this. You said you came back in 2002. Is that right?
In 2001, I returned.
Okay. And after you returned, how long was it? And I mean physically returned. And at this time you were living in Riverside, if I followed your testimony correctly?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And Travis was living in Riverside as well?
He was.
Okay. Do you recall, can you recall for us how long it was before, when you physically got back to Riverside, how long it was before you saw Mr. Alexander?
Before I saw him for the
Yeah.
first time, it was about 2 weeks, I would say, a week or so, somewhere in there.
Okay. How come it took so long?
Because I figured he was moving on with his life and we were just in different places and I had a lot of family stuff going on at the time. And so I figured I would call him when I was ready.
Okay. Did you know him to be dating anyone in particular when you got back?
I didn't know.
Okay. Do you know a person or are you familiar with a person by the name Linda Ballard?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And who was she to Travis?
She was the person who he was dating at that time.
Okay. Did you meet her?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Had you known her previous to your departure to Costa Rica?
No, I didn't.
Okay. What was your impressions of the
Do we have a list of
seriousness,
Travis's
would you so
girlfriends?
say, of the relationship between Travis and Linda Ballard?
I don't know.
I didn't know the level of seriousness of their relationship.
Okay. When you began to see him again after these few weeks passed, did you see him as friends or did you begin dating again?
I saw him as friends.
Okay. And based on what you told us this morning, it sounds like you began dating him back in 2002 again, right?
Yes.
Okay. What was your understanding of how Mr. Alexander became available again to date?
That they had broken up.
Okay. And do you know when they broke up?
I don't know when.
We actually
When
have
they
it.
broke up, did Travis tell you about that?
Yes.
Okay.
And
I found Travis dating history here.
Yeah. So Linda Boss was the I believe, wasn't she the married woman? And then we have Brandy.
Brandy.
And then it was this woman, Deanna Reed. Then it was Jodi. And then after Jodi, it was Lisa. And then Marie was the last one. Mimi is the one that he was trying to take to Mexico or whatever with. And she kept saying no. Oh, yeah. You found the same site that I found.
Yeah.
But who, like, how did they break up? No, I don't want that. Close the ad. Stupid ad. Let's see here.
Oh, she will be testifying later, I think. Because I see the picture here.
Mimi
With
already
her.
testified.
Oh, she did.
Yeah,
she
she
did.
was like the first witness, I think.
Mm.
Or like the second witness. It doesn't say how they broke up though. I just clicked on the. So they dated from 2002 to 2004 for 2 years.
Mm.
They hooked up in 2002 and they broke up, but there's no real indication as to how or why they broke up. That's, I think, what Jung was asking about. So, and then Brandy, we never really saw Brandy, nor did we hear her last name. Lisa Boss, she was the scandalous affair with the married woman at the church, I believe. Yeah, they list her husband, or they talk about her husband. Yep. According to our record, she's possibly single now. Well, if you're having an affair with a young 20-year-old when you're married and from your church is probably leads to a divorce.
Knew that she had moved out of state.
Okay. Now, I believe you told us this morning that you began dating exclusive in 2002 to 2004. You were in an exclusive relationship with Mr. Alexander, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned that, you mentioned the reason it ended is that you wanted to get married.
Yes.
May we approach?
Okay, so she ended the relationship because she wanted to get married and he wasn't taking it seriously enough. So that's exactly what Jung was saying.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I think your mic may have cut out when you answered regarding breaking up with him because you wanted to get married. Your answer was yes to that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. As it relates to this desire of yours to get married, you would have been about 24 when you started dating him again in 2002, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, I'm going to assume that when you broke up with him in 2004 because you wanted to get married, that this probably wasn't a shock to him, right? You'd mentioned it before?
We had talked about it before.
Okay. And were you ever engaged?
No.
Did he ever talk to you about getting married?
We talked about it.
Okay. And did he ever tell you that he wanted to marry you?
He didn't say it in that way. We talked about getting married and that I would be a good person, like to marry.
What kind of
but that he just wasn't
quality
at
of
that
life
point.
would it be?
Okay. And that's kind of what I was getting at.
You know,
This wasn't
that's what-
something you just sprung on him in 2004.
If he married the wrong
saying, "Marry me
woman
I'm out of it,"
or
right?
That's
unalive.
something we talked about.
And when you talked about it over the course of these
I
2
bet
years,
he's kicking himself now.
you must have felt like, in terms of
Yeah.
hanging into the relationship, so to speak, that you still saw that as being a possibility for quite some time, right?
Hey, Bobby.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Okay.
Hey,
Well,
Bobby.
you're talking
I gotta
about how
figure
in
out how to say
2002, just 2004, you're dating him. One of the goals in your life, probably independent of Travis, was to get married, right? To have a family?
Yes.
Okay. So you told us earlier that you envisioned that maybe Travis would be that person for you, right?
That's right.
Okay. And you told us that about the time before you went on your mission or during your mission, right? You
Yes.
said that is something that you thought about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I considered.
Okay. And then, moving from age 20 or 21 to 20, 23, 24, it probably becomes a little more serious, right? A little more urgent, a little more of a priority maybe in your life. Would that be fair to say?
Not really. It didn't seem that way to me. Like we had talked about it, but we didn't talk about it that much. We were in love with each other and we liked each other and we had fun together. And the time that we were together went by quickly. So I didn't feel the pressure that we had to get married.
Okay. But you must have felt some on your own for this to be a reason to break up with Travis.
I gotta find this character. There's a cartoon character of
Yeah.
an earthworm. I can't remember what show it's on. I think that's what I'm thinking of with this woman. She does look like a human thumb, though. I've got to find this thing. Oh, she looks like an earthworm.
Travis, right?
Okay.
Yeah, eventually I did feel that way. And that's why we broke up.
And that feeling probably just didn't pop up overnight, is my point, right? You didn't wake up one day and say, marry me or we're done.
It wasn't overnight, but it was quickly. I had just realized how much time had gone by that we had dated and that it wasn't really progressing to that point. And I didn't see that it ever would.
Okay. And explain for us then, why didn't you see it going in that direction in 2004 when you broke up with him?
Because we had talked about it and talked about the fact that at that point he was not ready.
Okay. And at that point he wasn't ready, and that was enough for you to say, I'm not hanging out anymore, to wait for you to get ready, right?
That's right.
Okay. Now, when you broke up with him in 2004, We also talked about, there was this period of time where he moved to Mesa and then you moved to Phoenix. Do you recall telling us about that this morning?
We did not break up in 2004.
Okay, when did you break up?
In
'Cause I thought you
2000, it was in 2005.
Okay, 2005. All right. So this move in 2004, you were still together.
Yes,
Okay. But I did get that correctly. You moved into, both you and Travis moved to Arizona in 2004. Correct?
yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
But you were boyfriend and girlfriend when you both moved.
Yes.
Okay. When you broke up with Travis in 2005, did you maintain a relationship?
Yes, we did.
Was there a period of time where you, after you broke up, that you kind of separated from each other a little bit, or did you just break up and just kind of become friends
There it
the
is.
next day?
Top right corner.
No, there was a period of time. There was a couple weeks in there where we didn't speak to each other and just had some time away from
That's
each
what I
other.
was thinking of.
And just because I want to be clear too,
You're
when you said
muted.
you broke up with him, did you kind of sit him down and said, this is it? You had a conversation, said, I want to get married and you're not going in this direction. It's time to move on?
Yes.
No, it's not Earthworm Jim. It's Rick and Morty. It's what's his name? When he makes
One of
them
the things that you
Earthworm.
talked about this morning was the idea that Mr. Alexander never yelled at you or raised his voice to you, right?
That's right.
And that he never hit you, right?
That's right.
And did you and Mr. Alexander have a sexual relationship?
Yes, we did.
And when did that sexual relationship begin?
Well, we had been dating for a long time and we were in love. And so that is something that happened. That's what happens when people are in love. And I don't know exactly when it was, but it was well into our relationship after we had moved to Arizona.
Okay. Well into your relationship after you moved to Arizona. And this isn't a question to judge. This isn't what we're talking about here, okay? But you would agree with me that as it relates to this sexual relationship, and you've been a lifelong member of your church, that would have been inconsistent with the dictates or the teachings of your church. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And because of that inconsistency, was the fact that you were having this relationship, was that something you kept between the two of you?
That was our private business. We didn't tell people about it.
Right. I understand. And again, I'm not here to judge. I'm just asking. In terms of ramifications within your church, did you or Mr. Alexander face any ramifications in your church related to this activity?
No, people are just human. People within the church are human. And we make mistakes and we do things. And then we can go to the bishop, which we did,
Okay,
and we talked to him about our relationship.
okay. And you said you went to the bishop. When did you do that?
I believe it was in 2005.
Okay. And was this, I would assume then that this was in the Phoenix, you wouldn't have been in the same ward and when you moved to Arizona, right? You living in Phoenix and he living in Mesa?
Yeah, we were not in the same ward. At that time, I was living in Mesa, like downtown Mesa
Okay.
area.
Okay. So you had the same bishop at that time?
We did not,
Okay.
no,
So did you each go to the bishop individually or separately?
individually.
Okay. And my question earlier was as it relates to sanctions within the church or punishment within the church. Did you ever lose your temple recommend?
Yes,
That's what
Do
I
you
was
acknowledge
kind of
Mr.
working on.
Alexander
Damn
loses
it.
his temple recommend?
yes,
And this sexual relationship, you mentioned people make mistakes and that's
We're
certainly
both like
understandable.
off doing things,
Was
repeating the
this
same damn thing.
a one-time mistake or was this a mistake that happened several times?
no,
Are you talking about vaginal intercourse, oral intercourse? What are we talking about?
Okay, let's step back then. You're familiar with what I believe is termed the vow of chastity within your church, is that correct?
The law of chastity.
Yes, okay, law of chastity, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I think I said vow. But do you take some sort of vow of chastity or something like that when you're in the church?
It's not a vow,
Okay,
but it's just rules that we live by. But sometimes, like I said, we're human, we mess up, and sometimes people break rules. And that's what happened in this situation.
okay. And I understand all that. I get that. And I understand that this is a sensitive topic. I get that as well.
Objection, no question.
Sustained.
This law of chastity would forbid oral sex, correct?
Yes,
It would prohibit anal intercourse, correct?
yes,
And it would prohibit penile vaginal intercourse, correct?
yes, any type of sexual contact.
In terms of breaking this law of chastity, was this a one-time thing or something that happened on several occasions?
Objection, recommendation. Kind of breakage.
Overruled.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Sure. We talked about the law of chastity and the things that it forbids.
Yes,
Okay. What I was asking you is if you and Mr. Alexander broke that law one time or more than one time?
more than one time,
Several times?
several times.
Okay. And over how long a course of time?
What happened?
I don't know.
Dead spot?
Sound just went out.
That's weird. Huh. What'd you do, Nick?
I didn't do anything. It wasn't me.
I blame Vielhammer. I'm just kidding. By the way, everyone needs to go thank Vielhammer for this revised audio. I know what he did on this.
Shuffling paper. Oh, she's reading something.
No. Did they just like cut to that or something? That's weird.
No, prior to today.
No, I have not.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is
It is
comment from
Vielhammer.
Mr. Alexander that he did something unpardonable to you. Do you know what he's referring to?
Just that we were together for so long and that he did not marry me.
And that's unpardonable?
He says in there that
Oh, this is the letter.
he was,
That's what she was reviewing.
sorry, I just forgot. I lost my train of thought. But he
Okay.
says that he just felt bad for dating me for so long and that this was a time in my life when I should be getting married and that he thought that now I was beyond that point of getting married. And so that's what he felt bad for.
During the course of your relationship as well, did he ever have you write letters to male
I
friends of
was
yours?
thinking he was
telling them
going
you couldn't
somewhere
be
else
friends
with
anymore?
it.
No,
Have
Maybe
you do something?
Uh,
Damn it. He's getting there, though. He's going to get
Showing you what's been marked
They ever
as
tie you
exhibit
to a tree, man?
395.001. Did he ever ask you to wear an outfit like that?
no,
there. You go. He's getting there.
You said that you engaged in,
I need to. Let's see. Because that
What?
was shown so quickly.
you said that you engaged in text messaging with him in 2005, a little bit, right? And even in the future of your relationship, have you
Back up
write
to-
letters to 95.01?
Let's see here.
Did he ever ask you to wear an outfit like that?
What is that?
That's definitely not her.
No, what is that? Is that
That's
maybe
the
maybe
maids?
that's a maid's outfit? Yes, and maybe that's the text because we never saw that. Maybe that's the text that Travis sent to Jodi and said, "I want you to wear an outfit like this." Remember that whole part of it? So maybe that's what he's showing. It's an image. It's probably an image that he texted her on our stupid phones before the iPhone came around.
No.
Well, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you want to see this
You
in the maid's
said
outfit?
that you engaged in text messaging with him in 2005, a little bit, right? And even in the future, even up to 2008, right?
Yes.
Referring to you, what has been marked as Exhibit 391. Did he ever use phrases with you like that you're the ultimate slut in bed?
No.
And did he talk to you about blowing enormous loads every time?
No.
More details, please, sir.
Did he ever ejaculate on your face?
No.
Did he ever call you a whore,
No.
a slut,
No.
a three-hole wonder?
No.
Did he ever tell you how he wanted to tie you to a tree and, quote, put it in your ass?
No.
Must have had a different relationship
What?
that he did with Miss Arias, correct?
Okay, like a foundation.
It seems like
Did he ever tell
Travis only did what he was allowed to do. And that points more to Jodi.
Yes. Well,
More
I mean,
what
he was
she
looking
was
for the.
into.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely looking for the woman that was going to do those things he wanted to do,
Yeah.
and that's fine. It is what it is.
tell you that the way you moan, it's like a 12-year-old girl having her first orgasm?
No.
Did he ever tell you about wanting to cork the pot of a little girl?
No.
Let's talk about a little more about Mr. Alexander. This man you were together with for so many years. What did you know of his family background? Meaning his mother and father specifically.
I knew of them.
Okay.
I knew about his upbringing.
Well, when you say you knew about his upbringing, what did you know?
I knew that it was rough, that his parents were drug addicts.
Okay. When you say drug addicts, do you know what drugs they were addicted to?
I don't know.
Okay. What else did you know about them?
I knew some of Travis's memories that he had told me of them.
What do you mean what do you mean his memories of them?
He told me that he had not only the bad memories, but he also had good memories of his mother throwing birthday parties for him and doing nice things for him.
Okay. And what were some of the bad memories?
Mostly just stories of neglect and wanting to be out of that house.
Okay. Neglect as in not having food to eat, not getting attention, that sort of thing? Is that what you mean? when you say
Poor living
neglect?
conditions.
Okay, poor living conditions?
It doesn't.
Yes,
Okay. Did he describe
have
how
no,
poor those
I
living
mean-
conditions were?
he did.
Was this sort of rat infested cockroaches, things that we could see in his book or his introduction to his book?
Those types of things, yes.
And what about his father? What did you know of his father?
Again, just things that he would tell me about his father, different memories that he had of him. And I also had seen a video that Travis showed me, because by the time I met Travis, his father had passed away.
Okay.
And he showed me a video of him, and I could just see how much Travis loved his father and how proud of him he was that he had started to clean up his life towards the end of his father's life.
Clean up his life, meaning what we just talked about, his father was a drug addict as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You spoke about neglect from his, we were talking a moment ago about his mother. Was his father also neglectful too, to your understanding?
Yes.
Okay. To your understanding, was his father physically abusive with Travis?
No.
To your understanding, was Travis's mother physically abusive with him?
No.
Travis's mother, you mentioned his father had passed away. Had she passed away as well before you met?
I met her.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that you had your ultimate goal. The reason you moved back in 2008, that's when you moved back to Riverside?
Yes.
Right. Okay. And in terms of 2008, when you moved back, you said, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, you said something to the effect that you wanted to pursue your other goals.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
And the other goals you were talking about was teaching?
Yes.
Okay. And you said you had is it a bachelor's degree in liberal arts?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Is that something you earned in Arizona or something you earned in California?
In California.
Okay. And in terms of the goal of yours, this goal that you had, did you ever express that to Travis?
Yes.
Did he ever tell you the goal of being a teacher was stupid?
No, he was very supportive.
Okay. Did he ever try to downgrade you, try to tell you you should never do that?
No, he had seen me in different teaching situations at church, and he had also known how passionate I was about it. And so that's why he was supportive of it.
Okay. He was supportive of you being a teacher, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with Lisa Andrews?
Yes, I know her.
Okay. Are you familiar with the fact that he dated her?
Yes.
And are you familiar with the fact that it was real serious?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the fact that it was as serious as maybe it might go to marriage?
Yes.
Are you aware of the fact that he told her how stupid it would be for her to be a teacher?
No.
Different relationship, I guess. Thank you.
Redirect.
Wait, what?
Sustained.
Different
Yeah, one of the things
relationship,
you
I
were
guess.
asked about was this issue about this sexual activities that you may or may not have had with Mr. Alexander. Was your relationship based on sex mostly?
No, it was not.
And when you went to the bishop, did you lie to him about the activities that you had engaged in?
Nope. I told him everything.
Did you minimize, for example, say, in your mind, we're having sexual intercourse, but I only told him that I was having oral sex. Did you do that?
No.
Well, if you did that, would there be any reason to go to them if you weren't going to be truthful about it?
No.
And with regard to these issues about whether or not he called you names or that sort of thing, do you know if he did use that language with regard to somebody else? Do you know what the other person's participation may have been?
No, I don't.
Do you know anything about his sexual activities and whether or not the defendant was participating
I
in
don't know
these
how
sexual
this
activities with him?
cross-examination helped
don't
at all.
know.
Can we pause
With
it real
regard
quick?
to your sexual activities, was it something that you and he would go about talking to people about?
No.
How about any
Can we pause it
sexual
real quick, Nick?
aspects that he had with the defendant? Did you
The cross-examination was absolutely worthless when it comes to this particular case. The idea is that the defense's position is that Travis was abusive to Jodi and that this was essentially self-defense. And the reason, even though nobody was there and we don't have any proof that she actually was being attacked, she went through this whole history of him abusing her as the baseline for the reason why she felt threatened to the point that she had to defend herself on that day. So I don't know how this woman cross-examination helped at all. The direct was essentially, yeah, we dated and he was fine. We just didn't get, he didn't want to get married, so we broke up. The cross didn't help at all. It was an unnecessary cross. And because of that, this redirect is extremely unnecessary. I don't know why they keep going through these motions.
discuss those with you?
No.
this issue about whether or not you were going to marry and why you broke up. He told you he wasn't ready to marry you is what you told us, right?
Yes.
So was it a situation that he lied to you?
No, he was very honest about it.
And when you told him, we're done with this, and you've broken up, was it a situation that he kept coming back and asking you for sex?
No,
Did you guys continue to have sex after you broke up?
no,
So is it something that you obviously could control then, right?
yes,
And was it a situation after you broke up with him that he was such a sexual monster that he kept coming over and grabbing at you and pawing at you to have sex with him?
We're not worried
no,
about
he
that.
was always a
Carol.
gentleman. He never pressured me.
Was he a gentleman after this happened?
Yes, he was.
And if you did he even ask to have sex with you after you broke up with him?
He did not.
yes, they
One of the
do.
things that you were asked about was this issue about these items that may have been sent, for example, over the mail. With regard to this picture that you were shown of a woman in some sort of skimpy outfit, do you remember being shown that?
Yes,
Do you know what the circumstances were of that?
I don't know.
Do you have any possible way of knowing the circumstances about that?
I don't.
How about what the relationship was, whether or not somebody likes to ejaculate on somebody's face? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know.
Do you know whether or not the defendant liked that?
I don't know.
Do you know whether or not she sent him text messages asking him to do that? Do you know any of that?
I don't.
So do you know anything about their sex life?
I don't know anything about their sex life.
You do know about Mr. Alexander, don't you?
I do.
And at any time throughout this relationship, did he ever become verbally abusive to you?
No,
At any time, did he ever become physically abusive?
no,
At any time, when you didn't want to do something, did he start trying to push you in the direction that you didn't want to,
No.
you didn't want to go?
he did not.
At all times, was he respectful to you?
He was.
I don't have any other questions.
Looks like we have a juror question. Are there any other juror questions for this witness? Counsel, please approach.
One jury question. One.
What would the jury question be? This was nonsensical.
Yeah.
I mean, it was essentially meaningless. I don't even know why it needed to be brought up on rebut, but he's so freaking angry. Was that at real time or was that like time and a half or
1.25.
okay, but still, even at real time, he's so angry.
Mm.
Just he hates the world. Do different things with different people. Jung does the same thing with different people.
A juror has a question for you. Is the law of chastity widely known in your church, or is it something that is kept a secret?
It is widely known.
Is the law of chastity a topic of discussion in your 3-hour church days or any other event?
Yes, sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't.
If so, to what degree?
They'll usually teach lessons on it in the different classes that we have during church. So every once in a while, there'll be a lesson specifically on the law of chastity.
Any other questions from the jury for this
Is it
witness?
show and tell what not
Follow up,
to
Mr.
do
Martinez.
before you're married?
Confusion as to the law of chastity, as to what it forbids and what it allows.
No,
Objection calls for speculation. With regard to your knowledge of the law of chastity and what you have learned, any indication that there's any misunderstanding as to what it allows and it doesn't allow?
no, it's clear.
And it's clear what? What does
It's
it say?
clear that it allows, well, it does not allow any sexual contact between people who are not married.
And is there any wiggle room, so to speak? I know we're talking about a sexual issue here. Any wiggle room to believe that?
Wiggle room, provopush. Yeah.
Well, maybe we can do this, but maybe we can't do that, as long as we interpret it differently.
Objection again calls for speculation. Each person's belief.
Overruled.
No, those things may happen, but if they do happen, it is in violation of the law of chastity, and that's clear.
I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Mr. Nerman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am,
So,
in terms of the law of
poking and
chastity,
provopush might be.
would someone taking a picture of their penis,
Say what now? That was an interesting pause.
I was going to show my screen because she looked vastly different when they dated. Okay. So a little different than the thumb she looks like now.
Yeah.
For sure. Or she did in 2013.
I mean,
Maybe
it
stress.
This is. Oh. This
Yeah.
is. I mean, they dated 2002, 2004. So this trial is 9 years later after they broke up.
Yeah. So yeah, a little different.
A little
I
different.
don't know. That's why she has that thing, that hair brushed down. She's got like some sort of weird mole or something on her forehead. But other than that, a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, I thought, oh, yeah.
Okay, can we back up like 10 seconds? What was that question?
In terms of the law of chastity, would someone taking a picture of their penis and sending it to someone else, would that be in violation of the law of chastity?
I don't know specifically, in my opinion, yes.
Okay. What about taking close-up pictures of a woman's genitalia? Would that be a violation of the law of chastity?
Yes.
How about someone who took close-up pictures
Wait, what if they're a
of a
doctor?
woman's anus? Would that be a violation of the law of chastity?
Proctologist? Proctologist, sir.
Yeah. And if
By the
you
way,
go
I have a
back
picture
to-
of her neck.
Yeah. Day 6, part 2. You can see the pictures which Normie is talking about.
Or if you were a former member of MLS, you have them in the Discord.
Mm.
You can see her neck here. I mean, she's got something going on with her face. I'm not quite liking her face, but it's not the thumb, right? We don't have a thumb head yet. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
You may step down. The state may call its next witness.
State calls Michael Melendez.
wait, say that again, sir. How did you pronounce that? I'm going to put together a slideshow of Jodi's greatest photos and then just put it on Rumble. There's going to be some soft music behind it. What's the
Raise your
thumb
hand.
head?
Do
Oh,
you solemnly swear the
I was
testimony you're about to
commenting.
give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
I was commenting that the last witness looked like a human thumb. But apparently when Travis was dating her, she did not. She was more like a pinky toe.
Your name, sir?
Michael Melendez,
Who do you work for?
Mesa Police Department.
And previously, did you testify in this case?
Yes, I did.
Back in June of 2008, what were your duties with the Mesa Police Department?
I was in the computer forensics unit.
Did you have occasion to assist in the homicide investigation of Travis Alexander?
Yes, I did.
And specifically, as part of that investigation, did you have occasion to look at his laptop computer?
Yes, I did.
And by look at his laptop computer, what is it that you did?
I forensically examined his hard drive in the laptop computer.
You said that you examined his hard drive. When you say you examined the hard drive, what is the hard drive?
In the laptop is the drive, is the area that all the data is kept on the computer.
And why would you look at the hard drive?
That's where all the data is.
And that's some place that you could find whatever was going on in the computer, correct?
Yes.
And in examining the hard drive, were you able to access, or was there any indication that you were not able to access everything that was in the hard drive?
I was able to look at everything and access everything, yes.
And accessing this hard drive, were you able to see whether or not in this hard drive there were photographs of women from the waist up?
Yes.
And were you able to see whether or not there was tons of pictures of women's breasts on this hard drive?
I would be able to see that, yes.
Wow.
And
I
were you
mean-
able to see it?
I did not.
Who doesn't have that? Oh my God, he had pictures of.
And with regard to photographs, aside from tons, just were there any photographs of women from the waist up showing the breast? Did you even see any of that?
No, I did not.
Any images whatsoever of that in that laptop?
No.
What else did you do with regard to this? What examination did you conduct on this hard drive?
Initially, I searched for all types of file images, and we do that by searching for file headers, which is the beginning part of the file itself. This way, if there's a file embedded in another file, I'll be able to find that.
When you say file embedded in another file, what does that mean?
For example, if someone takes a photo or an image and puts it in a Word document, I will be able to find that.
All right. And with regard to that examination, did that reveal any images of women's breasts?
No, it did not.
To be clear, did it show the lower part either?
No.
Okay. What else did you do?
After that, I went through all the internet history, the registry of the computer itself.
The internet history, what did you find in looking at the internet history?
Just basic usage of going on the internet for different types of things, social media sites.
Did you find any access to any of the so-called adult sites?
No, I did not.
What else did you do?
I looked at the registry to see what type of software was added to the computer.
When you say that you looked at the registry to see what software was added, what is it that you're looking for, or what is it that you're doing there?
I'm just getting a feel for what type of software is added to it. It gives you an idea of what this user is doing on the computer.
So if a person adds software, what would that tell you, if anything?
Well, if they have software, depending if it's a case involving, let's say, check fraud, and they have software that allows you to create checks, then it'll tell me that they have the ability to do that.
Was there any software that was added to this laptop?
Just basic software,
Such as what?
Windows, Office, things like that.
Anything related, for example, to going to adult sites or anything like that?
Well, in that sense, I will be looking for something that will be peer-to-peer.
Money.
Some software that will allow you to share files from one user to another.
And did you find that?
I did not.
And what else did you do in terms of searching this computer?
I searched every single file that I could open and opened it and see what was inside of it.
And did you see any, throughout this whole searching from beginning to end, did you see any images of children in that computer?
No.
I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
Yeah, so no.
That was a good redirect witness.
Yeah. After the claims that, Travis had this interest in non-adult individuals.
Yeah,
And-
that's the appropriate redirect witness, not the last one.
Yeah. And remember, Travis' death was quite unexpected, for him at least. And so he would have no time at all to crawl over and delete his hard drive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So not finding anything about that, well,
Unless he had a dead man switch on his computer, which I doubt he did.
yeah.
Good afternoon.
I wanted to clarify that when Mr. Martinez was questioning you, he was talking about a laptop.
Yes.
Okay. But it's our understanding from your testimony prior that there was more than one, computer seized, right?
Yes.
Okay. And there was CDs and flash drives and what we would call media, right?
Yes.
Okay. And those also store information on them?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm asking that because I wanted to back up when we're talking about this laptop. This laptop was the one that was recovered in the office or den area, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And as it relates to that, this was a computer, this laptop was registered to, or the owner was the Deanna Reed, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And recalling from your testimony earlier, this particular computer, one of the things you told us a while back is that you look at it for recent activity, I believe is the verbiage you used back then. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do recall that.
And one of the things you told us last time, if I remember correctly, is that around 4:30 in the morning, maybe a little after, this computer was being used to watch videos on YouTube. Is that correct?
I don't recall saying that, no.
Okay. Do you recall seeing that activity?
I recall seeing activity, yes. I don't recall saying that here, no.
You don't recall specifically saying what it was, but you recall saying it was used at 4:30 in the morning?
I don't recall saying that, no.
Okay. Then I'll need a minute.
All right.
Okay. That was quite non-interesting.
Do you have a copy of your report or analysis with you today?
No, I do not.
This is, I don't know. Maybe he's going somewhere with this, and I don't know. But
Yeah.
I mean, the rebuttal was appropriate, and the rebuttal hit hard, right? Especially with his whole TP allegation from Jodi. But I don't know. I mean, he either found his stuff or he didn't. Maybe you can cross the scope of his investigation, lazy investigation, or something.
Mm.
We'll see.
Yeah. Ahead.
The area.
Long sidebar.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to take the afternoon.
Sending out the jury.
Designated area at 10 minutes after 3. Please remember the admonition, you are excused.
Please stand for the jury.
Are they going to have a hearing about something else? Or
I don't
is it
know.
just a recess? Okay, no, it was just a recess.
Jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Mr. Nerman, you may
Yeah,
continue cross-examination.
Detective, in your prior testimony here, you, and even today, as a matter of fact, you told us that you did a forensic examination of this laptop that was in the office or den area, correct?
Yes, correct.
And that was the laptop that was, or the registered owner of this laptop was Deanna Reed, correct?
Yes, that's the name that was on the software.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That's the name that was on the software. We registered it, yes.
All right.
So
And in terms
that
of a forensic examination of a computer, without going into great detail, can you tell us kind of what you do, what that involves?
Do you want from the beginning, or I don't know how much detail do you want?
Well, yeah, from the beginning. I mean, you seize the computer, you make a mirror, we'll do it this way. You seize the computer, you make a mirror image of the hard drive, right?
Yes,
And one of the things you told Mr. Martinez is you go for the hard drive because that's where the data is, right?
yes,
Okay. And once you make that mirror image of the hard drive, you can see its contents, activity, web browser history, things of that nature, correct?
correct.
In most cases, and that happened in this case, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when you did that forensic examination of this computer, this laptop, and you were the one who seized it in the property, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And you took every assurance you could to make sure that you powered it down correctly, those kind of things, so you could preserve that data, I would expect?
yes, I did.
Okay. And after you did that forensic examination, you wrote a report, correct?
Correct.
And that's about what we were ready to talk about at break. I want to show you, if I may approach, Your Honor, what's been marked Exhibit 347. Not sure if you can
I am
take a look
Dave.
at that.
Hello.
Tell us if you recognize that document,
Yes, I do.
and what is that document?
That's my written report.
Sir, if you could be so kind and go to the second page of that document. And I believe it's perhaps the second and third paragraph down about your examination of that computer. Could you just read that to yourself?
Okay.
Okay.
I love watching people read.
Okay.
Okay. And based on that, and kind of going back to the question we had before the break, is that your refresh your recollection regarding the activity you noticed on that computer?
Right. It states that the last activity was at 16:54 hours on 6/4/2008.
Okay. 16:54 hours. Could you translate that?
4:54 p.m.
4:54.
Right. p.m.
Okay. All right. Now, in terms of internet browsing, what is the term cookie?
Cookies it's basically packages that when you go to a website, it will send that information so that the next time you go to the website, it recognizes you as a user.
Okay. But in terms of doing an analysis too, for lack of a better word, these cookies leave a trail to where someone's been on the internet, don't they?
It depends.
Okay. They can.
Yes.
Okay. Because in order to have that recognition, the computer you have to have been somewhere in order for that place to recognize you.
He's going into, well, of course he didn't store the pictures on his computer, but he might have visited websites. Did you check for that? But that's kind of far-fetched.
That kind of thing, right?
Yes.
Is that what we're saying? Okay. So if someone has cookies on their computer that designate that they've gone to a certain place, then that kind of gives you a guide as to their internet history, correct?
Actually, their internet history, I would go based on where they actually went to, which is in the internet history. They'll tell you which websites they went to.
Okay. But cookies can tell you the same thing if it's not in that immediate browser, right?
But my preference would be to look at exactly where they went to based on the internet history. So the cookies would maybe a secondary way of looking at it, but my preference would be to look at exactly what they typed in their search browser and where they actually went to.
I understand, but
Right.
even though maybe it wouldn't be the preference, cookies can help you kind of retrace where somebody's been, right?
There might be information there, yes.
All right.
Did you look for the
Detective showing you
cookies?
what's been marked as Exhibit 419 regarding the analysis of this computer. One of the things that this exhibit shows us is the profile name, That's whom the software is registered to, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And this time here is about 4:08 in the morning, right?
yes.
And this is kind of an internet history, is that correct?
That's what it says. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is.
Okay. And so at 4:08 in the morning,
I can explain
we
if you
have
really want an
a
answer.
person on this computer looking at this YouTube drunk Daft Punk video, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And we have somebody looking at this same, or a different video, but in the same YouTube at 4:11 a.m., right?
yes.
Okay.
What's up, Lefty? Lefty needs to set
The
up a
detective,
stream
we
so we
can
can
also
redirect to
see-
him in an hour.
We have someone watching another
Lefty, set up
a
the stream and
YouTube
we will
video, this one
redirect you.
called Daft Hands. You see that?
Yes,
And that's at June 4th at about 4:15 in the morning, correct?
yes.
And in terms of the internet history of this laptop, we can see that at 4:24 in the morning, there was more activity with YouTube, correct?
Yes.
And what this really means, maybe common sense, but what this really means is that someone was using that laptop between 4:08 and 4:20 something in the morning, watching videos on YouTube. Is that correct?
Well, you're assuming that they actually play the videos. I don't know if they did or not.
Okay,
I would say that someone accessed YouTube at that time, yes.
Someone accessed it. We don't know for sure whether they played the video or not, but you
Yeah, I
can see.
wouldn't know.
Okay, fair enough, but you can see signs that it was accessed,
Yes.
correct? Okay, thank you, sir. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Redirect?
So
I
with
know,
regard
right?
to
Me
this
too.
Harder, faster, stronger. This involved women with their breast bared. Would you have noted that?
Yes,
Would it, if it had involved women with the bottom portions of their bodies bared, would you have also noted that?
yes,
If I may have the exhibit that you have in front of you?
sure.
Sir, one of the things that you indicated to defense counsel was that based on your examination, there was, the last activity was at 16:54 hours, correct?
Yes,
And that's 4:54 PM on June 4th, correct?
correct.
Sir, do you know how that activity got on there?
I don't recall the exact activity, but that's the last time someone used.
Or somebody attempted to get on this
Right,
computer,
yes.
correct? So it could be that one of the police officers or somebody else may have touched it, right?
At 4:54 PM, I'm sorry.
Hang on, I like that
4:50.
question.
Right.
As a
At that
defense
time, I'm
attorney,
not sure if they were there or not. I don't know.
Well,
why would he object?
somebody was there to access it on June 4th at 4:54 PM, correct?
Correct.
And you don't know how that happened, right?
No.
So it could have been Mr. Alexander, correct?
Yes.
Could have been Ms. Arias, you just don't know who accessed it at that
Correct.
time, correct?
Correct.
We do know that the police showed up sometime later, right?
Yes.
Do you know exactly what was being accessed on June 4th of 2008?
Except,
4:54 PM,
I don't recall.
but it was just being accessed.
Yes.
I don't have any other questions.
I
Any
like that
from the
question.
juror
He
for
shouldn't have
the second
objected
one?
to it
Any other questions?
because it calls into question
Questions of the
then
approach?
the chain of evidence, chain of custody.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, no, I like that question a lot, and he shouldn't have objected. He does a lot of stupid things that I don't agree with.
Skipping ahead, there's a sidebar.
How high did my watch hours jump to? Quite a
some
bit,
questions for-
but Google or YouTube hasn't recognized it yet.
Mm.
But I got more than enough watch hours now.
Yep. So time to send in that application.
Well, it hasn't acknowledged it yet. That's the problem.
Yeah, it
So-
can take a day or two.
Yeah, so the last update is from May 20th, so it's 5 days ago. So I'll have to update again, and then I should be good to go.
All right, now we have jury questions.
Mr. Melendez, the jurors have some questions for you. Regarding all of the electronics seized, did you find any indication of pornography, naked women, or child photos on any of the items you examined?
I did not find any of that on any of the items I examined related to Mr. Alexander.
Regarding Travis's camera, just for clarification, all pictures were not deleted, is that correct?
That is correct.
The pictures depicting Jodi and Travis in sexual poses and the pictures before and after the killing were deleted, but there were pictures left on the camera, is that correct?
That is correct.
If so, do you know how many pictures were left?
From recollection, I believe there were more than 90.
Any other questions from the jury? Follow up, Mr. Martinez.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Nurmi?
Nothing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we need to take about a 10-minute recess. So please go back to the jury room. We will call you back shortly. Please remember the admonition.
See, that cross was not very good. He spent way more time on the ex-girlfriend, and that was unnecessary. You
Yeah.
should have prepped this witness better, or
Yeah.
prepped for crossing this witness.
Recess. Counsel, I will see you in chambers.
Uh-oh, Judge
Uh-oh.
Mommy's gonna spank them. He wasn't watching it, he was making it. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Please be seated. The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take the evening recess at this time. You do not need to return until 1:30 tomorrow. 1:30 tomorrow. Please remember the
1:30
admonition. Are
tomorrow.
there any questions? Have a nice evening. You're excused.
Did they introduce any videos that they made in evidence? Not videos, but recorded smexy time phone calls were admitted. I can't remember what date that was, but I needed a fan. So is that the end of the day?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
right.
on the end of the day. Now we are only 1 hour and 20 minutes in. Should we go to
Yeah.
day 52 and start?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't think they made any videos, or if they did, Jodi testified that she deleted a lot of them. So I don't know if they still exist. But they do have phone call recordings, which are fun to listen to.
Yeah.
That wasn't smexy, David. It was I mean, it was mutual manual manipulation over the phone. I mean, it was awkward and juvenile, but it was fun.
Yeah. All right, let's go into day 52. Dun, dun, dun.
It was weak AF. Farrell.
Farrell always wants more.
Farrell. You know,
nasty.
if the two parties are having fun, then
Mhm.
what's the harm with it? Right? If they're enjoying it,
Mhm.
think about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
see.
baby. Oh, baby. They were enjoying themselves. Let them be.
Presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Ladies and gentlemen, have any of you seen or heard anything about this case in the media? Has anyone attempted to speak with any of you? You will be here today, obviously, tomorrow, is 5 and closing.
Another DVD, if I may. Yesterday, 6:32, the DVD did not play. I substituted another DVD, if I may play that for the jury.
You may do so.
I'm sure you do, Farrell. I'm sure you do.
I keep forgetting what does Farrell do for a living? It makes her have dirtier conversation at work.
You know, I don't know
Do you
what she
run
does.
one of these phone lines, Farrell?
That's exactly what it is. She works on 8 Mile. No 3-hole emojis. Not yet. Almost.
Oh.
We're almost back to the 3-hole emojis. Nick has them, I believe.
That is one of the videos now entered into evidence.
Yeah, but it wasn't Smexy Time videos. This is
No.
just them hanging out with friends and her giving an over the pants BJ.
Mm. Yes, I have. I have the emojis on my. So if you need to have the emojis, you need to get over to my chat.
I always heard Farrell works as a shot girl at a strip club.
Oh. And that made her very, very emotional.
Farrell's the one that pops
Thank
the
you.
cork in the
You do
champagne
solemnly
room.
swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Okay, let's see who this guy is. It's Mustache Man.
Your name, sir?
Robert
Dr.
Brennan.
Phil.
And who do you work for?
I work for the City of Mesa.
What do you do for the city of
that.
Mesa?
I'm a detective in
Beautiful
the computer forensics
stash.
unit.
You're a detective of where? I'm sorry, we didn't.
The computer forensics unit.
And what do you do?
I
What are your
look.
duties?
I look at computers, telephone or cell phones, digital media.
And when you look at these things, then do you go in and are you able to retrieve whatever data may be on there or images?
Yes,
With regard to this particular case, did you look at a Helio phone?
I did.
And when you
I
looked
need
at
to
that
get
Helio
more
phone, were you able to
drink.
develop some photographs?
Yes.
I'll be here.
Okay.
Let me show you some photographs.
It's always interesting listening to these tech guys from like almost 11 years ago testify because it's so different. David wants a mustache ride. You know, if it's the right mustache, I wouldn't turn it down, Farrell. I hear you need a bit waxing. Yeah, it was a fairly new science at the time. Like this is like the iPhone came out the same year that this unaliving happened.
Okay.
Are you familiar with those?
Yes.
Are you the individual that was able to obtain them from the Helio phone that you indicated previously?
Yes.
And there's some dates and times in the back. In terms of the date, what date were those photographs taken?
Tuesday, June 3rd, 2008.
All of them were taken on that particular date?
Yes.
And the respective times are on there, correct?
Yes, they are.
I may have those back.
I mean, how can you not
For
do
the addition of exhibit 636.
XXX and Jodi Day? That's why Jodi Days are so great.
Hmm?
Gross, Bobby. Bald on bald violence coming up. Yes. You hate to see it. You hate to see it, but you see it coming. You know, Nurmi doesn't need to be bald. Looking at his stubble, he's got fairly substantial amount of hair. He just likes the look. Oh, he does. He looks like the big German dude. He does.
Oh,
that beat up Indiana
yeah.
Jones under the airplane. Then got his
Yeah.
face sliced off.
Slip. Yep.
Because
Yeah.
I don't stream. That's why.
Well, apparently you only need one stream to get there.
Yeah, I know, right? I could have just done the one stream and nothing else. I would have gotten it. I got 9,000 watch hours yesterday.
Mm.
And I think a total of 20,000 views. He doesn't have a 7-head to deal with. No, look at his fuzz. It covers his whole head.
Take a look at exhibit 636, which I don't think the First of all,
Not
with
this
regard to
guy. I'm
exhibit
talking about
636, we can see that the date was June 3rd, 2008 at 2:25 PM, correct?
Correct.
And if we take a look at exhibit number 237.008, what is the date on that? It's down there. See it?
June 3rd, 2008 at 15:22 hours.
And which is later? In other words, which came later, the Walmart receipt or the photograph?
The Walmart receipt, that would be 3:22.
If this is taken at 2:25 p.m., wouldn't the Walmart receipt come after?
Yes.
And this is the photograph, correct? Just want to show you exhibit 452. See that?
Yes.
Exhibit 637
So is he just
was taken what date and time?
admittance?
June 3rd, 2008 at 2:12 p.m.
And that's the photograph, correct?
Correct.
Take a look at exhibit 414. Exhibit 638. It's taken at what date?
June 3rd, 2008 at
Speed this up.
2:28.
And this is that photograph, correct?
Correct.
With regard to your examination of the Helio phone and these photographs, were these
more
photographs
photos.
taken by the Helio phone or were they transmitted from a different
Salvador.
apparatus over to the Helio phone?
They were taken by the Helio phone.
I don't have any other questions.
Cross-examination?
How come Salvador's not streaming today? He's usually streaming on Saturdays.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sir, as it relates to these photographs, showing you 637, one of the things you told us about
Those
all
beautiful
these
eyes.
photographs is that
Devil's
you know
eyes.
that they were taken with the Helio phone, correct?
Correct.
And one of the things we didn't get to talk about a few moments ago is how you know that. Can you just kind of explain to us how you can be certain that that's the case?
I think all of these witnesses,
Digital
or
cameras,
these last
when they
two,
take a photograph, they embed information into the JPEG photo. And it's called EXIF data, EXIF.
Okay.
That data can be just a little bit of information. It could be a lot of information. It depends on the maker of that camera itself. And so it can store make, model, serial number. And I'm sure as a lot of people have heard, Apple phones store GPS data now. And so you can even say where the photograph was taken. And so there's a lot of data that gets stored inside that photograph. And so even though you can change its name or
Hey,
whatever,
Jess.
that information is still inside that photograph in the data itself. And so that's how when we look at the EXIF data in that data stream, it tells us that it was taken by the Helio phone.
And you're certain because even though you can alter other things about it, there's no way you can alter the source, right?
Correct.
Okay. And now, when you had spoken to us earlier, just using 637 as an example, you said this was taken at 2:12 p.m., correct?
Can you show it?
Yeah, sure.
Correct.
Okay. Is that the time that the Helio phone, your exit data generated, or did it generate a different source of time?
The data gets stored.
I don't know, imagine it being new that your
UTC
phone
time,
tracks your
which
GPS
just is a
location.
long name for universal time.
Oh,
Another term for that is
it's
Greenwich mean.
Either Dr. Phil
And so
or just
depending on where
Ventura.
that phone,
Understand.
what time that is on the phone, that data then, the timestamp on that photograph is written in UTC time.
Okay.
And so
Is she cunning?
when you look at that data, you interpret that data for where that,
Yeah, let's see here.
Is Jodi cunning, or is she? Yeah, there you go. Is Jodi cunning or just an opportunist?
I don't know which, but she tried to get away with it, and the planning was not. I mean, the planning of it was not bad. Had she not started to talk to the cops and brought the camera, this
Yeah, see,
trial
that
would have
means-
been a lot different.
I just put up a poll. Is she cunning or just an opportunist?
camera was when it was taken and where you were.
Okay. And as it relates to all these photographs, one of them being 637, what point of origin, I guess you would say, did you use for calculating the time that you translated on photograph?
The camera, the phone knows where it is.
I don't think she's cunning. I don't think there's a both option.
Okay. So you, in your end-case report. You did an end-case report on this phone, correct?
Correct.
You were able to determine the location it was when the photographs were taken.
No, the camera knows where it is. So when you're in Arizona and you look at your phone, it tells you what time it is. And so that the camera knows. Even though when I take a picture, that the information may be stored in UTC time, it translates it on the fly.
Okay. So what you have here when you talk about the time is, in essence, the phone's translation of UTC time into the time that it is in whatever time zone the phone is located when the image is taken. Is that what you're telling us?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Redirect? Any questions from the jury for this witness? Any questions? Thank you. You may step down. The state may call its next witness.
Okay, so now they are definitely in the final stretch of the trial because now there are officers and lead officers.
Detective, you were previously sworn in this case. You are
Right.
still under oath. Do you understand?
I do. Thank you.
You may proceed.
Your name, sir?
Esteban Flores?
And you're the individual that testified previously, correct?
Yes, I am.
With regard to the investigation in this particular case, did you have occasion to go out to the Queensboro address to make some measurements involving the shelves?
Yes, I did.
When did you do that?
I returned to the address on March 5th of this year.
And were photographs taken?
Yes.
I'm going to show you some photographs. While they're being marked, sir, you were part of the original crew or group that went in there and conducted the search, correct?
Yes, I was.
And how long did the search take?
Approximately 3 days.
And during the search, was the house searched from, I guess, from bottom to top?
Yes, it was.
It has 2 floors on it, correct?
Yes.
Was the attic? Did somebody go inside the attic to see what they could find?
Yes.
And in this particular search, were there ever, if you looked around, was there ever a holster that was found?
No, there was no holster found.
Was there ever a gun case that was found?
No, there was no gun case found.
Were there any indications that a gun had ever been there? For example, were there any spare bullets of any caliber found throughout the house?
Nothing.
Were there any cleaning kits, if you will, for a gun found anywhere in the house?
No.
Let me go ahead and show you photographs. So take a look at exhibits 639 through 644 to see if you recognize what's shown in the photographs.
Is he reintroducing the dead photos?
Do you recognize what's in the photograph?
Yes, I do.
What do they depict?
They depict the closet area of Travis's old home.
And taking a
That's
look at exhibits
disappointing.
number 69, you recognize what's here?
Yes, it's the same closet.
And this was at the time that the warrant was executed?
Yes, it was.
And exhibit number 70, what are we looking at there?
The exact same closet.
And what date were these taken?
March 5th.
The spacings on the shelf, are they the same in these photographs as they are in photographs number 69 and 70?
Yes, they are.
And how do you know that they're in the same position? Did you actually move some shelves around and put them in that position?
When I returned to the address to look at the closet again, the bottom 3 shelves were in a different position.
So you're talking about this, and this, is that what you're
Yes,
talking?
those 3.
All right.
And what I did is I used the photographs from the original date that we were there, and I repositioned them in the same position.
How is it that one goes about repositioning these shelves? Do they have screws that are actually screwed in from the side, or how is it that these shelves are put together?
Well, they're free-floating shelves on shelf pins. I'm sure everybody's seen those small little metallic shelf pins. And the shelves themselves are, like very light material with just a paper coating on them.
The pins that are used to hold these shelves up, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, how many?
Each shelf has 4 pins.
I move for the admission of exhibits number 639 through 644.
We have to follow up, by the way, on that lost testimony from her sentencing.
Yeah.
We got to try to find that in a decent audio quality. Take care, Gigi.
Take care, Gigi. Thank you for being here.
Have a good holiday weekend.
Yep. Have a good Memorial weekend.
What do these people do? Oh, sidebar. But they were just chit-chatting while someone was reading something.
Take a look at Exhibit 639. What are we looking at here?
Looking into the master bedroom closet from a north view, looking south into the closet.
And this shows the configuration of the shelves when you went out there after you had reconfigured them, correct?
Yes.
Exhibit number 640. What are we looking at here?
Looking at the back corner of the shelves,
And they are from top to bottom.
top to bottom.
And this is after you had reconfigured them to conform with what we see in Exhibit 70, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Exhibit 641, what are we looking at here?
I took a measurement at the top of the shelf, and it was approximately 7 feet high to the top of the shelf.
From the bottom to the top, is that correct?
Yes,
She
from the
couldn't
floor up.
It
possibly
looks like
reach
it's about 83 and
that.
a half, would that be correct?
Yeah, 84 would be 7 feet. So
And did you also take a measurement up to the roof, which would be Exhibit 642?
yes, the ceiling would have been 8 feet. So an additional foot on top of the shelf.
Sir, did you, in taking a look at these shelves to ascertain what kind of shelves they were, did you lift one of the shelves just to show the underneathing position of the shelf as it would rest on
Nick,
top of
I
the
see your
pins that you
DM.
described for us?
Yes, I did.
And Exhibit 643, does that show that type of relationship between the pins and the shelf?
Yes, it does.
For the addition of Exhibit 643.
Oh, below, 643 will be in minutes.
These are all the
Oh,
witnesses
shelf
that
pins.
they had up prior, by the
And
way. None of these are new
What are these things right
witnesses.
here?
Those are the shelf pins themselves. They're a metal shelf pin.
And were there
What happened?
No, it's
The-
trying
These
to.
are all the same witnesses who are just being recalled.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. He's going to try to say that there's no sign of a firearm there. Jody's story. These are appropriate rebuttal
Yeah,
witnesses.
and she claims she took a step up, but now they are showing these are really small metal pins. If she put her weight on it, it would probably break.
I don't know. I
with-
feel like I've climbed them before. I feel like, I mean, okay, but here's a good cross-examination. Are you a structural engineer, furniture engineer? Do you have any basis for your testimony that these are small, weak pins?
They're similar, couple of pins on the other side.
Yes, 4 altogether for each shelf.
I want you to take a look at Exhibit 644. Did you have occasion to place your hand, for example, on one of the shelves to see what would happen if you put your hand on the shelf?
Yes, I did.
And taking a look at 644, does that show what happened when you put your hand on the shelf?
Yes.
Move for the admission of Exhibit 644.
Overall, 644 is admitted.
Will it flip up if he puts his hand on it?
I'm surprised
And
they
this is what
didn't
happened.
Yes.
bring the shoving
Sir,
it into
one of the
courtroom.
things that
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Detective
Show it!
Melendez was asked about
Ass.
was the activity
Damn!
on the
I wanted to see it.
computer or the laptop belonging to Mr. Alexander on June 4th of 2008 in the early morning hours. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And there was something there about harder, faster, stronger. Do you remember that?
Yes, I did.
Are you familiar with what that is?
Yes, I know what that is.
What is it?
It's actually a song from a European group, electronica group, and they've been around for a while, several years, and it's just a song and a video.
And have you had occasion to see the video or not?
Yes, I've seen the video.
And does the video depict any women or the female form in any way, shape, or form nude?
No, it does not.
I don't have any other questions.
Cross-examination.
I'm
All right,
sure
is
it
this going to
does.
be good
Yeah,
or a
detective.
bunch of BS?
Got you.
Hey Tess, hi Siobhan.
I want to talk to you about, let's start where we finished. This video, this electronic people dancing around, right? Is that?
Yes.
You've had a chance to view that?
Yes, there's several videos on YouTube
Okay.
and other locations.
Okay. And in terms of the ones that were on Mr. Alexander's computer, we went through yesterday a little bit with Detective Melendez. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Are those the videos that you took a look at?
Yes, I've seen those.
Okay. And you were asking a minute ago, were those if they involved nude women of any type? You recall being asked that?
Yes.
Okay. There's not any nude women in there, but could you tell us from what you told us, but can you tell us what you did see in those videos?
It appeared to be a DJ playing the music with like boxes on their heads, something on their heads. And one of them was actually sped up really fast. People were just making fun of the videos themselves.
Okay. And that description of that video was a description that Miss Arias gave you during your interviews with her, right? People dancing with boxes in their head, something very similar to that?
Can you pause it real
I don't
quick?
recall what you told me.
Nick,
As it relates to this work you did in the
Yeah.
closet,
This is the copy interview, Joe.
how tall is Miss Arias? Would you say?
can you pause it real quick, Nick?
5'6". And just going back,
Thank you. So Moni Money wants to know, what does this have to do with anything? I'm lost. So on the defense's case in chief, they were alluding to Travis being a violent person and also searching violent things on his computer. And what the defense did not bring up was that these were actually songs. And so the reason for this rebuttal is to say, like, basically it's a band.
Yeah.
It's a European band. It's a song. It's not like he was looking up violent videos or anything. So that's what they're getting at here with this.
to the work you did, see is the actual closet that day. This, scoot it down for you here, the ceiling's a little bit in the shadow there, but that's where we're at about the 8 feet mark, right? You said 83 and a half, 84 inches, right?
7 feet to the top of the shelf, 8 feet.
8 feet to the ceiling, 7 feet to the top of the shelf,
Yes.
right? Okay. Now,
Exactly.
when you went back and measured this closet, and you said that what you attempted to do was put the shelves in the exact same spots as could be seen in Exhibit 69 and 70, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you did that, there are several shelves to put in place, right?
I moved 3.
Okay. You moved 3 altogether?
Yes.
Okay. Were the other shelves not movable, or were they already in position? Sometimes those shelving units have shelves that are in place. That's why I was asking.
No, they were all movable.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you only had to move 3.
Yes.
Okay. Now, as it relates to this shelf here, see this top shelf with the shoes on it?
Yes.
Did you measure that distance?
No.
As it relates to this shelf below here with shoes on it, see that shelf there?
Yes.
Did you measure that one?
No.
Okay. As it relates to this shelf here, the third row with the shoes, did you measure that one?
No, I did not.
As it relates to this fourth shelf down with the shoes, did you measure that one?
No, I did not.
Okay. As it relates to the next shelf below that, did you measure that?
No, I memeasured none of those shelves.
None of those shelves. None of the shelves in the first row here with the shoes.
No.
None of them. Okay. And as it relates to the middle shelf here, these would have been in place when you measured them, or when you put them back in place. Did you measure this middle shelf?
The only measurement I took was from the bottom of the shelving unit to the top of the shelving
Did you
unit.
measure this middle shelf?
I did not measure any of those shelves.
You did not measure any of the shelves down below. You could have, right?
I could have.
Okay. And as it relates to these shelves over here, I guess those are closest to the back wall here. Didn't measure any of those either?
No.
Okay. And you could have, right?
Yes.
Okay. And as it relates to this shelf here, we see here on the back wall. See that one there?
Yes.
Did you measure that?
No, I did not.
Okay. And how about the one right above it?
I mean, why would he? I mean,
Measure that. Why would he measure that?
yeah, I'm kind of lost here. When did he make these measurements? For instance, was it because you have to have done the measurements at the time of the crime? I
Well,
mean,
measuring the distance between the shelves, I could see being something that you would want to take into consideration if someone was going to try to climb them, right? If the shelves are 4 feet
yeah.
apart, it would be difficult to say someone climbed them, right?
Mm.
So I can understand that. He's just a little bit nitpicky. I would really go towards the, did you measure the force required to break one of those pins or the shelves?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
you didn't. Okay, so you don't know if Jodi was able to climb these things. That's what I would just be hammering on and be done.
Yeah.
Here, it looks like there's a picture sitting there. Did you measure that one?
No, there's no need.
What's that?
There was no need to measure.
Okay, well, I didn't ask you if you felt there was a need. I asked you if you measured it, right?
And no, I did not.
Okay. So, and you had the ability to do that, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 70 here. Here's a little closer up. You've heard Miss Arias. You heard that Dr. DeMarte says she has a fairly high IQ, didn't you?
Yes, I heard
Okay.
that.
Now, these shelves here, top one being 7 foot. We don't know the measurement of this, but it's lower than 7 feet, right?
Yes,
Likewise, even lower
correct.
and even lower all down the line, right?
Yes,
And the same can be said, we don't have a measurement for this middle shelf, but it's lower than the top of the unit, right?
yes, that's obvious.
And they're lower all the way down, correct?
Correct.
Okay. As it relates to the shelving unit here, we have another shelf that's in the, what I guess I would call the inside shelving unit. And that's lower than the top of the unit, right? That first shelf?
Yes, it is.
And all the way down, all those shelves are lower, right?
Yes,
Okay. She didn't say the gun was in any of these shelves, did she?
no,
No. This back unit we see here, the top of this back unit, you didn't measure the top of that, but would you agree with me based on the photograph, it appears to be the same height as the other shelving unit?
it is the same height.
Okay, all right. And as it relates to the shelves below, that's lower than the top of the shelving unit, right?
Yes,
2 shelves lower than the top of the shelving unit, right?
correct.
Okay. And she didn't say the gun was on either of those shelves, right?
Correct.
Okay. And we can see it perhaps better in this exhibit. There's some bags around here. There's some room on the.
That's an interesting question from Monty. David, you to Nick, do you think there should be lesser charges for crimes of passion?
So, traditionally, in a common law setting, crimes of passion were lesser punished, right? They were punished less. They were almost given a pass. So, for example, at a common law level in certain states, if you caught your wife in the act and you killed her and her lover, it would almost be not justified, but it would be like a accident, sort of. It would be treated like an accident. It was like, well, he couldn't help himself. He caught her in the throes of passion. And traditionally, that's been the way it's happened until statutes came around in roughly the 1930s, 40s. Then they started kind of doing away with that stuff. So traditionally, it would be. Do we think it should be? No, because at the end of the day, I feel like people should be able to control their emotions a little bit. And if you can't, then sorry, you lose. I mean, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, the same lack of self-control, even if it's a highly emotional state you're in. I mean,
Right.
that doesn't mean, oh, in 5 minutes, the same kind of people has that for hours or even days. Does that make it a crime of passion? And should it be? We don't really have that distinction here.
No, do you not?
No.
Are you guys like a Napoleonic code sort of thing, or?
Yeah, we are
you guys have-
more Napoleonic
Okay.
in that.
All right.
So I
Just
must say
curious.
I haven't given it much thought. So I
I mean,
can't
traditionally, traditionally it's been the rule here in the United States based off of the English system for a couple hundred years and until fairly recently, actually.
even. Hmm.
Ground. She didn't say the gun was anywhere there, correct?
No.
Okay. And we can't see it here quite so well, but it looks like we've got some rods with shirts on it. Is that
Yes.
what we had? Okay. And there was no, is there shelves over there or just rods?
No shells on that side. From the area.
It's
you
a
can't see
long
there's some shells.
explanation,
Okay.
but
And
basically it did away with common law.
With your hands, describe where that would be.
I'm not sure exactly. I'd have
Maybe
to see a
that'll be a
photo
good strip.
where they're at, but near where the shirts are.
Okay. And were they as high as the other shelves?
I don't remember.
And did they, I'm assuming that it just wasn't one shelf really high, there was other shelves down below, right? That were at lower height?
Like I said, I don't
That's a
remember.
lot of talk
Okay.
about shelves.
And Miss Arias didn't say the gun was on any of those.
I'm
did she?
interested
No,
in
she
the
didn't.
top shelf of women.
I'm interested in the top shelf of women, definitely.
Yeah.
But I'm also interested, did you test the
In your work
amount
in
of
this
force
case-
required to break it?
Yeah.
You interviewed Chris and Scott Hughes, correct?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall that in one of those interviews, you made the comment that Travis was addicted to Jodi?
Yeah, so,
Yeah, so the Napoleonic Code, when Napoleon basically became emperor of most of Europe, he decided to toss out all the common law stuff and developed one sort of statutory scheme on which all civil and criminal things would be handled. And it was mostly different from anything else that had been done. And a lot of France continued to follow it, and I think still does. And a lot of countries have formed their judicial system off of that. And in fact, Louisiana, the reason why they don't have counties but they have parishes is because it was a French thing and it was under the Napoleonic Code for a while. So there's a lot of history there, but it was like the metric system versus the standard system, and essentially does the same thing but with different measurements.
Yeah. If I
Well,
remember,
like I'm sorry,
he
in like-
divided. I mean, he not only did he remove, he also divided laws which differentiated family and property in civil structure.
yeah.
It's a lot of
The jury trial went out, like in Denmark, you have two jurors and a judge,
Yeah.
or a couple of judges and a couple of jurors.
During this interview
That's
with
a
Chris and Scott
Napoleonic
Hughes,
thing.
you remember telling him that Travis was
Approach, please.
Okay, they are approaching. We are an hour and 53 minutes in, so this is a good natural stop, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All righty.
Yeah.
Storm chasers.
Yeah. And apparently there's a storm outbreak in Oklahoma. And
Go sweeping down the plains.
a guy named Brandon is doing storm chasing live as we speak. And apparently we can redirect you to that channel because that's the only thing really interesting going on that isn't us.
Yes. What year is this trial? This trial it started in 2012 and it's currently we are in real time, we're in like March of 2013.
Yeah.
So
okay. Yeah, I mean, now we are in the final stretches of this trial, so there will be now cops are coming in, testifying about evidence gathered, and to rebut the defense theory.
I don't know what this Know Your Meme website is, but if you want to send me a link, I'll check it out.
Good for
I'm
you.
a meme, apparently. Yay, I've made it. I'm a meme.
Yay. All right. But with that, I don't have much to add to this. I mean, it's been hurtful against Jodi, but that has been the case throughout this trial. Even when the defense put on their case in chief, it didn't really help Jodi.
Yeah, no, it didn't at all. I mean, her testimony was the best that it could have helped her, and it was just bad. It was unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. If she was more credible, she should have just stuck with the ninja story.
Yeah.
You know, if she had stuck with the ninja story, it would have been more credible.
Yeah. It would have been harder for them to disprove the ninja story. Now, why
Yes.
didn't you go? Well, I was in such a shock and everything. And
They threatened me.
they
If I
threatened me
talked.
and my family and everything. I just wanted to get away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know what? Hang on. Before we go, I am going to plug my Lego stream for tonight.
Yep.
I'm going to put a link in the chat to that. So if anyone wants to join, because it's not on this channel, it is on my Lego Law channel. So tonight at 9:00, Valhalla, Wendy, and I will be revealing all of the secrets that happened down in Dollywood. So
Yep.
there's no guests; it's just the three of us. But we're going to build some Legos and talk about Dollywood. If you guys are at all interested in what really went down in Dollywood, we have some videos and stuff we'll share. And okay,
Yeah.
thanks. Great success.
And yeah, no super chats or gifted memberships on this stream. I'm a bit
Ooh, 40.
disappointed.
I got 46 thumbs up. What'd you get? 36. Woo! I win.
What? There must be something wrong here.
This is the first time I've won in months. You can give me one win.
All right, but we will be back with Jodi next Saturday.
Wait, are you doing the new intro as our exit video as well?
Yep.
Okay. So if you guys missed the intro video, Nick made a new intro video. So you guys got to stick around for that.
Yeah. All right. See you around. Have a good day. You will be sent off to watch a storm chaser named Brandon. Okay. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
In a little town where things aren't what they seem, there lived a girl named Jodi with a tricky little scheme. She went to the courtroom where she told a little lie, but the truth came out. Oh my, it wasn't ninjas or pirates as she tried to claim. Jodi was the culprit, she was the one